Alrighty, so we're going to make these little darns into a kind of folded up book keepsake type thing. And I've gathered all the bits and bobs I've got, and I'm just looking at kind of the biggest patch, if you like, the biggest one, which would be this one and this one. And they kind of measure 5 centimeters, so a couple of inches by 6 centimeters, 2 1/4 inch, and again 6.5 centimeters, 2 1/2 inch, 6.5, so 2 1/2 inch by 2 1/2 inch is about the biggest. So really, what I want to do is make my page or my that kind of size, maybe a little bit bigger. Am I flickering? Because I feel like this light is flickering. Sorry. Just bear with me a minute. Let me just try and adjust it. I don't know whether or not it's... No, that's not good, is it? That's okay. Oh, sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... First off, let me show you on my rudimentary sketch that I've done. So we're going to come down one page and across. So we're going to make like a little kiss or a cross patch, but we're going to add these. It's up to you. You can do your cut your fabric out. Sorry, my brains went dead. In that shape, or you can do like I'm going to do and do one and then add your patches on. And the reason I'm adding these on is because I'm going to put an extra page in here, there as well. So so what will happen is this will fold into that, that'll fold into that, that'll come up, they will come over, and you'll get a little button. Hope that's kind of explanatory. That way I can use off the offcuts of these bits and bobs as well. So let's go we'll go up here and we'll do a what? Let's go 3 inches. 3 inches. Just get a pair of fabric scissors. Because obviously I'm not organised, am I? As always. And we'll go... What did I say I was going to do first? The straight one, didn't I? So let's give that a little... No, I'm not going to tear that. It doesn't want to. That light is definitely flickering. Oops, sorry, I'm just going to... Is it because it's not plugged in? That might be it. Just don't want you guys for it to be flickering. And now, because I like a fluffy edge, I'm just going to pull those off a little bit. Oh, lovely. Snip. Oh, dropped my scissors. Oh my goodness me. Uh-huh. Pop you there. So that's one. That might be too long, but I just want to kind of keep it that length for the time being, so I know more or less where I'm placing things. Okay, so as I said, you can use up bits and bobs of like this. That might be useful for one of the edges or a page. So I did sort of say that I will pop these on as a patch or a pocket. So here we are. I think I'm going to do a pocket with this one. I'm just going to make sure. I just want to do that, turn that over, because when you're popping things in and out, I don't want it to fray too much. But don't mind that being. And I've kind of done it. Let's go that way. And then we'll just snip that off. Okay. So I'm going to go in on that. I'm going with this fold up here. In fact, I'm going to do it that way so when it folds over, let's give it a bit of a, and I'm going to chop that off there. Not very straight. And I will just give this a bit of a fray. Ideally, I want it nice and fluffy like that, but this is because I've done a new cut. I ought to have torn it, didn't I? Think ahead. There we are. That's better. Better. It's not so great at that one. Let's just stick a little. There we are. So I'm going to fold that over. I'm going to give myself, so there's my fold. Give myself a little space. And I will pin on. I want to make sure that I'm doing. Where's my little ring? And you don't have to do any fancy stitching. Okay. Oh. So I would like to say that that will go up to that fold. Oh, yes. And give you a little bit of space to add in, say, 2 pages. 1, 2. Brilliant. Okay. So I'm going to come up and down. And I'll probably cut that off at that stage. But I might not. I might do a fold and then a fold. Shall we do that? And then that, I'm not cutting off, am I? Okay. I'm just going to do the structure first and then we'll add the things on. Let me just, I need to get rid of that. I feel like I've got, that is good. That perfect. Will that do that way? No, let's do you that way. And then put another page in there. Yeah. So I'm just going to cut snip this and tear it. There. One, two. So that's my inside page. Do you see? I'm coming up, and I won't snip that yet. Okay, because I'll probably pop that on there, look, and put a maybe pop a little button on or something. That one's not, you know. We'll build it up. So we're going to go that one and that one. That's that page. Let's find another side. Is that too small? I feel like it is. Yeah, it's too small. Too small. Let's just go with a bit more of this. Let's have a bit of that because we're going to use that up, aren't we? That's a bit too small. Let's go with that. See if we can snip that, rip that. Linen's not the best to be ripping. That said, I'm just carefully going to there. Look, I don't want to cut down that. See if that page is going to be. This is all kind of guesswork, so don't. Just going to do a little tiny snip more and then come. I don't know, sometimes it'll rip one way and not the other, but you have to be very careful and hold it because it starts to want to go off in the direction it wants to go. That's that done. We've got another. Let's pop another page in. I feel like this one, that needs to be in, doesn't it? Or maybe that. Let's go this one. Oh, I like that though. Okay, let's make it. Let's go down there. Lovely. This calico is so much easier to rip. It does as it's told. Nice. We're going there. So we've got an extra page. So we'll come in. Okay. So what we'll do first then is I'll just fasten that to that. I want to fasten that onto that, and then we'll do like a little ladder stitch to add these sides. So let's go get stitching. I'm not going to go, I don't want to do anything fancy. Might even, just so we can see, so you can see, let's find some thread in a colour that you'll be able to see. plastic. Just give it a bit of wax on it to straighten it out a bit. Oh, what am I trying to do here? Let's get a needle that I can actually see to thread. Okay. While I'm stitching, we'll have a bit of a chat, shall we? So literally, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just stitch along here. Don't go too close, otherwise this will fray and your stitches will come undone, basically. I've got a tiny knot in. I don't mind that my knot is visible. I really don't mind that, so I'm just going to do a little running stitch, and every now and then do a little back stitch on it, just to hold it in place. It's very windy and rainy here today. Actually, it's late on in the afternoon, so hence why I've got the lights on. So I hope you can see okay. I'm sure you can. Pull that forward a bit. I'll do one page. I'll add one page and then I'll show you. I'll do the other page. You don't need to be sitting here watching me do that. So what have I got to tell you? What have I got to tell you? I'm just trying to think. I ought to make a list of things that I've been doing, which isn't a lot. I've had a bit of a tidy up in this room. Had a big tidy up down in the thread shed, because that was an absolute disaster area after all the shows, just popping stuff in. Just kept throwing things in there and closing the door, basically. I'm sure you can relate, some of you. Not all of you. Some people whose craft rooms are super tidy. Not mine. So yeah, so we've had a big tidy up. I've had a new cutting table, which is higher because Heather, my daughter, is quite tall. She's about 5'7". I am not. I'm about 5'2". So we were going to get a rise and fall one, but we don't really need. We're not going to warrant spending that amount of money. But I'm just going to tie a knot. Just bear with. Of course, I'm going to get all stuck round, aren't I? Can't talk and do knots at the same time, can I? Yeah, so I'm short. She's not short. She's a lot taller than I am. And when she's cutting, doing any kind of cutting, whether it be rotary cutting with scissors, whatever, she's having to bend really far down. And I don't know whether anybody's a quilter and has that same kind of, it starts to hurt your back after a bit. I mean, I don't quilt, but it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Right. So yeah, I've had a new table, cutting table. So right, I am going to do a really, really rudimentary overstitch. But I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get a nice colour because I like to change colour. And I'm just thinking, shall we have what colours have we got going on in our backgrounds? Shall we go with a bit of that? Yeah. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Super simple, nothing difficult on this channel, she says. Right, lazy girl thread, that needs cutting in half. Because we don't need it that long. Fab. So, find a needle. Yeah, so said cutting table will make life a lot easier for Heather, I think. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fold this together. Okay. I'm just going to put a little stitch in about 1/2 centimetre, 1/4 of an inch from this edge. Okay. But what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to open it up. Do you see? So when I close it, it will be like a little ladder. So we're going to come. I'm just going to put a little lock stitch in. Let me just. Come back. Put a little tiny back stitch in. I know this is a bit faffy, but once you get going, just going to put a little stitch in there, just so it doesn't unravel. There we go. I always think when I'm doing these things, I bet there's people shouting at the screen going, you don't do it like that, do it like this, it's so much easier. Okay, so I'm going to turn it this way. I've left that on, so, and then I'm coming back across and doing a little stitch. Do we see? You want to try and keep it straight, level. Keep your tensions as even as you can. Then I'm going to go a back stitch. Shall I zoom you in a bit? So I'm going to do a back stitch. Okay, and come up where my little stitch is there. So you've done like a little stitch. Then I'm coming back across. It doesn't matter if this isn't perfectly straight. I mean, I was lining it up with this crease, but that's gone by the by. So we're going to come back over. Take a little stitch. Okay. And then we're going to do a back stitch. So back into that one, come up at that one. I'm going to do the same again. Over. So you're making like a little ladder. Back stitch. Oh no. Yeah, back stitch. And that's anchoring it in. Just do another couple while we're about it. I mean, in fairness, you didn't need to do this running stitch if you were that way inclined and didn't want to do an extra row of stitching, but that's entirely up to you. Because you could have just pinned this down and done one row, but you know, I like to see the stitching. So that's my back stitch. And you're coming up. You're always coming up where you went in, if you like. See if that focuses on. So you're doing like a little ladder. I don't know whether this has got a name or not. I've got no idea. I mean, this is a bit of a faff. I'm not going to lie. Another stitch. But you want to keep it flat. Stitch, come up. And this is your little darn, okay, for this week. You're putting your pages in. So if you had got two pieces of, you know, if you've got a hole along ripping your trousers or whatever, you could use this stitch to pull it back together. And if I'm honest, that ought to be pinned to there, but we're not doing that. That'd be sensible, wouldn't it? So I'm going to keep on going. I've gone a bit wonky there, but not to worry. You won't. Who's bothered? These things that if you come to the shows and you see my, you know, you've seen all my little books and bits and bobs. These get handled a lot, and they always stand the test of time. So, update on the books, by the way. I am curating fabrics and bits and bobs for the large book, Through the Garden Gate. Sorry, I'm going to have to just pick that up. It doesn't want to go in a line. The Through the Garden Gate fabric book. Have a look on the playlists. If you search for Through the Garden Gate. I do try and put it in, but I forget. I forget to ask Heather to do it. Yeah. So I am curating bits and bobs so I can make a kit for it. And as soon as I'm ready, that's ready, I will let you know. You guys know. I mean, it'll be over on the Instagram that you'll find out. So if you're not already following us over on the Instagram, Moonlight Stitchers, I think the link's definitely below for that. Just stuck myself. Yeah, but gosh, I went through it page by page, thinking, right, what can I put in this? It's obviously there's a lot of scraps of fabric that I used, so I'm not checking the back of this. But it's just a little line of stitches. Do you see? It's cute. Yeah. So, you know, my original book is made from scraps, which these kits will be scraps. So no two will be the same. So hopefully they'll be ready at some point, but not before Christmas. I've been on a Zoom today with lots of lovely ladies. Hello if you follow along and you're on the Zoom with us today. Not my Zoom, by the way, another lady. she runs the, nothing to do with me. I just get in there and get chatting. I mean, this is quite a mindful kind of thing to be doing, because it's, you need to make sure that you're coming up at the right place. And I've gone a bit over, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry about things like that. It's good to be imperfect, isn't it? Oh gosh, am I going off screen now? I do really hope you can see. I'll know anyway. I'll try and line it up a bit when I edit. Not that I do much editing. I sound like I'm some kind of expert. I'm definitely not. Oh no, forgot to go back. I mean, you don't have to go back, but the reason I'm going back is because it'll lock it and it won't gather up then. But yeah, so not done a lot today. It's been nice to just not do anything, just to stitch. I'm doing my knitting. I had to get some advice because I'm not very good at that. I'm saying good. I'm a competent knitter, but the 5 needles thing, oh my gosh, blew my mind. Yeah, I'm making some wrist warmers if you were wondering. Oh dear. Any tips out of 5 needle knitting? Let me know in the comments. Oh my gosh. Right, just pulled that bit tight there. Gone a bit tight there and a bit loose there. Let's just try and wiggle it. There we are. Oh, I feel like I want to call this some kind of ladder dawn. It's kind of, I've seen it, but I've not seen a name on it. So I don't know. Shall we call it a ladder dawn? We're nearly at the end. It's absolutely lashing it down there. I feel like I can just come down here, do a bit of a back stitch. That's not very. I'm just going to do 2 stitches. Desperately do try not to go off screen, but is there we go. A little. So I'm going to do the other page. I was just thinking, what other page? Let's have a look. Just do another knot in that. Just because. There we go. You in there. So I won't bore you and do, but let's look at the back. So we've just got like a little, it has overlapped a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. So my page will be there, there. I'll snip that off because I don't need that, and hope it'll, I don't think it will. Oh, oh, it has. Wonderful. Right, fab. I'll come across there. And what did I do with my other pages? There we are. So I'm going to do the same again and add that. Then I'll come back and we'll do a little stitch on that. In fact, I think I'm going to take you off just so, because I want to do a little running stitch along there. And we'll come back. Oh. Oh, I can. Yeah. Just put you there. So I shall do that side and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got two little flaps going on, whichever way they go. Yeah. So that's the back. So I'm going to put this little one on. But I did think, shall I put it on the back? So I might put it on the back. It's all right, my thinking, but then, no, I won't. I'll pop it on the front. But I will be putting something on the back. So I want to do this pocket last, after I've put something on the back. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Because if I'm stitching through, I don't want to be stitching through this pocket, do I? And not being able to put anything in. Yeah. So I want to put something on the back first. So what we're going to put on the back, let's have a little look. What have we got? What little ones have we got? Do you quite like that? Let's put you on the back. Oh, I've gone off screen. I'm going to put you on the back. There we go. Do it that way. A little bit more with my snips. Let's make it a little bit smaller. There we are. Right, let's stitch that on. Oh, I've got my legs stuck. So what? Just wondering, is that the same width as that? And can I get away with doing one stitch through? I think I might, you know. I think I might, especially if I push that down. No. And then I go on the other side. Do we reckon? I think I might. Gonna do it. Gonna do it. Just check I'm recording and the sound's on. Honestly. Just pin you on. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, look. And then we're just gonna stitch through. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. Right, okay. Let's do a a row of stitches across there. Let's get some thread. The problem is I've cut these and they're very long threads and I don't want to be. And the reason I keep them quite long is because if I do a Yorkshire button with them, I don't want to be stopping and starting all the time. Right, I will do my little running stitch along this top edge. Oh, and I'm literally just going to do a running stitch, nothing fancy. Along the top of there. I was thinking I should do like I did last. Do you remember last December, if you were here then? I did my scroll and did a stitch a day, every day on it. But I'll be honest, but you can't see that. I was like, I don't want to get myself stressed out doing that. So I haven't. Okay, so I'm going to go and hope. Let's just double check. I feel like this. I'm just going to come up again here. We'll go through. Let's have a look. Yes. Oh, I keep getting this in a knot. I'm going to go all the way around with a little, just a running stitch, nothing fancy. And I'm going to have to go up and down. Right, why is that getting in a knot? Is it because it's got a frayed edge? Probably. Top tip, guys, if you've got your thread keeps getting in a knot, although that feels like it's a knot. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sometimes if your thread's frayed, if you just snip it off, it stops that. We'll see. See if my theory is right. There we go. I'll just move that knife out of the way. I got doing something else with the sharp knife, as you do. Is it going through? It's going through. Look at that. I think I need to just keep going up and down now. Let's have a quick look on the back. Yay! I know it's crossing over my darn, but I don't mind about that. So I am literally going to patch all these on. And if I don't mind if I run out of patches, I'll just make some more if I feel like it. Go around the corner. I feel like I'm on a. Just go down again. Nope. Two birds with one stone, as I said before. If that's your thing, if you don't, that's not a problem. I don't always do it, as I showed you on that bit. What? I just keep going round. My problem is when I do up and down, when I go like this, I don't always keep my stitches straight. Let's just have a on the back, and it looks rubbish. Yeah. So when I do it stitched that way, keeps them better in line a bit better. Not that it really matters, but I have noticed it kind of pulls your fabric and then makes you stitch a bit skewy. Oh, God, not. Oh my gosh, it is really raining here today, this evening. It's probably going to be a storm with a name. I don't know. I've not been sleeping very well over the last few days, weeks, maybe. Just, I don't know. I just feel like it's too. I wake up in the, about 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm wide awake. And I try to read and I can't concentrate on I don't know what I've read. And they say it's a menopause thing, don't they? But I'm not sure whether it is actually. I think it's just I just can't sleep thing. Got a great big knot in there. And I would say I'd watch some YouTube, but then my brain's overactive. So I don't really like to do that. Oh, so I want to get to the end of here. I'm going to come across the top of there. Make sure I'm still going through. I'm not. Look, I've missed it completely. Lummy neck. Lummy neck. Right, not to worry. Not to worry. Do something else on that. Just heard Harvey come in. I have a little light saying on air. So it's like a silent. Yeah. Oh. I'll find something else to do on that. I'm not going to worry. Right. Turn it over. I'll just get to the end of here, and then I'll put some more patches on. Just going to look at my stitching on the other side. It's quite neat. If I'm only going through a couple of pieces of fabric, that's not going to be too bad. It's when you're going through all three, it gets a bit skewy. Right now. Oh, I got a knot. Lovely. Always put the kettle on. Tea. Right, just squeeze another stitch in there and voila. Here we go. Just going to come up there and do a little finishing knot. Oh, wonderful. That's my little pocket there. Cute. I mean, I could even go 1, 2, 3, 4, couldn't I? Whatever I fancy. Oh, I say it was upside down, but that's upside down. So that's that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just made it like a little pocket there as well. Look, shall we leave it? Let's leave it. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to start patching things on, and this is going to take me a while. But I can see already that I'm not going to have enough. I feel like that could be there. And I want something over the top of that. So I'll have a faff around, and then I'll come back when I've done that. Okie doke. So I've started patching a few bits on. Ooh. And I just wanted to kind of go through my thought processes while I'm about it. Just snip that off because it's going to bother me. So on this one, I've gone back to back, but what I'll do is I'll stitch this on first. I'll unpin this, stitch this on first, then I'll come back and stitch that on, or the other way around, whichever way. Probably this one first. Let's just get rid of that. This one first, and then that one. In fact, shall we do that while I'm on? So we'll take that off. This is a really precious one. And I just wanted to talk about, I put some little patches on, so I'll just stitch them. I'm not a massive fan of this, but I thought what I might do is do some concentric circles around it, and just to give it a bit more composition in it, if you like. So we'll stitch this one on. As I say, I've just done what I don't want to go to. This is an original darn. I did have another one somewhere, but could be anywhere. I'll find it. So I want to try and mimic, if you like, that. That'll do. That'll do. That little darning effect. And if I do the darn here and I like the back of it, I won't put that over the top. I'll find something else. Let's find a longish needle for you. Oh. This is where you kind of just want to do whatever suits you. So I'm just going to get. And do you remember when we did this one? Little seed darn. We'll do something like that. Like this. And we'll just do a tiny little one. Ooh, got my finger stuck. It's ever so fragile, this bit of the cloth. So I'm just going to go back and then forward. 1, 2. Back. 1, 2. I mean, you can do some microscopic stitches. I'm just going to take that out. I'm sorry, I'm doing tone on tone. Let's go down and across. Just going to do the tiniest little darn. I've seen darns where the stitching is so tiny. You know, they've done it with a sewing thread rather than a. Try not to get this. If you're not sure what I'm doing, the seed stitch video, which is that one, just go and have a little look at that. Just do a few rows of this. Stitch. Sometimes it's so nice and easy to do it in hand. On the back, it's looking quite nice as well. So I'll just probably keep the back so we can see it. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just patching things on, whatever suits me, however suits me. And if I run out of darn patches, which I'm likely to, I'll just do a few more at my leisure. I just sort of want to kind of give you the idea of what I'm doing. before I say go away and do the homework. Because I know a lot of people struggle. I sometimes struggle with what I'm going to create. It's not always the easiest thing in the world. Okay, go back down. I think I'll do another row. Oh, it's not too bad on the back. No. What do they say? Creativity finds you working. And I always find it that when I'm creating, I become more creative. So once you get going, so sometimes in the morning I'll do a little exercise of warm up, you know, just a few stitches or something, just to get me in the right frame of mind, really. Okay, I feel like that is good. And then I'm going to come back across and I'm going to go the other way. Yeah, so I warm up, do a little warm up stitch, and once I get stitching, even if it's something like, I'll have something from a kit or something, I'll use that as my warm up because it's mindless. It's somebody telling me what to do. So don't think, oh gosh, I can't do that. I've got no idea. Sometimes I'm like that. With my big animals that I do, I break those down into tiny chunks and just stitch a bit at a time. You know, like I always say, especially when people come on a workshop, there's no rush in slow stitch. And what's the definition of slow stitch? I don't really want to say. I think it's just a mindful, meditative stitch. Even if it's the most complex stitch, and you are doing it, and you know that's what you're concentrating on. That to me is slow stitching. It's not all about running lines, running stitch. 100% not. So I just have a sip of my tea that Harley made me. A little bit too much milk in it. Ooh, I won't complain. Dock him some biscuits from his wages. Which way was I going? So I'm kind of mimicking this, not in the best way. I mean, that's far nicer than mine. Been doing a bit of shopping. Went up to, there's a place near me, like a retail park. It's called, well, it used to be called MacArthur Glen, and it's on, oh gosh, I want to say Junction 28, the M1, which isn't very far from me. So we decided this morning I would get up. Oh gosh, which way have I come? I'm going the same way twice. Get up and I'll go because I needed some trousers for walking. So I know there was a mountain warehouse up there, and I thought, well, that'll do me. And that was it, really. That was all I needed. So I got Harvey and Reggie, and we went off on a little. Thought I'll get Harvey to drive because inevitably the car park's always going to be busy. It's Friday. Ooh, you know, it's close to Christmas. It's going to be mayhem. Anyway, it wasn't. It was lovely, but I still got Harvey to. And I said to him, "Oh, you know, you can wait in the car if you want," because it's one of his kind of. He doesn't like crowds. He doesn't like people. Can have quite an adverse effect on him. But anyway, he decided he'd come for a wander around. So went in, got the trousers. I was quite impressed with myself. Didn't spend too much time. I just wanted a pair of semi-waterproof but warm trousers for walking the dog, that kind of thing. I'm not off on mountain hikes, not that kind. Anyway, and then went past. I was walking. It has like outlets of larger brands, you know. Anyway, went in the barber shop because I have a gilet that I bought for Heather. Oh my gosh, when she was doing a floristry apprenticeship years ago, and it is one of the best things I've ever bought, and I wear it more or less daily, and it is still as the day it was bought. And you know, it gets abused. It's not. It's a beautiful little thing. Anyway, so I thought, right, okay, I'll treat myself to a coat. Went in, they'd not got anything. And then I just happened to, I thought, well, I'll just go further into the shop because I'm a bit hit and miss when I'm shopping. I either love it or loathe it. I'm just going to come back. And we'll go back into there. So, yeah. So I ended up buying a coat from there. They'd found me. I was quite pleased. They obviously very generous in size because I tried a 12 on and ended up buying an 8. That's British size. So I was, yeah, I am not an 8. But, right, I'm going to come along here and just stitch this edge down. But I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do a little blanket stitch down there. Yes, I was quite thrilled with that. Nice. It's nothing flashy. Just a plain green barber. Not the wax coats. Not one of those. I couldn't afford one. They're super expensive. But yeah, so I've had a new coat. That was my treat to myself for all my hard work. And then I got Harvey some sunglasses because he's constantly whinging. I'm going to use that word, whinging about the sun in his eyes when he's driving. And I did buy him some cheapy ones, but yeah, not really. You know, he needed polarized, these polarized things apparently. You need polarized. So that's what we got. So that was his Christmas present sorted. So we were both happy with that. And then I went to a little shop in a place called, I always get it mixed up, it's not Home First, that's where they filmed Last of the Summer Wine, I think. It Homewood, and it's just what it's the next junction up, 29, junction 29, and it's a little fabric shop, and they have some cracking bargains in there. If you that way, Homewood, it's kind of Chesterfield way. They have some lovely stuff. Really, really, really reasonable prices. You know, meters of fabric at £2.50. So good. So yeah. So I got some ribbon and lace and a couple of meters of various fabrics. I don't tend to buy brand new fabric, but these are kind of like dead stock fabrics, and if you can get them, you know, I get them just because I think if it's a nice pattern and I think it'll go with what it'll go with what I make, I get it. Because even though I love to use upcycled fabrics, and the majority of my stuff is, I do every now and again come across things and I think, right, I'll get that, because it's a good price. It's dead stock, otherwise it go to landfill. Oh yeah. Gosh, this is a bit tough because I'm going through a hem. So yeah, I've got some, like I say, factory sort of shut down lace kind of thing. Another dead stock kind of. I just like to, you know, I think like I say, I try not to buy new, but when it's a good price, I like to, and I know that that's what's happening to it. I think, right, that's for me. Okay, right, so we stitched down. We stitched that down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one, and I think I'll do it in, no, I'm not. Let's do it we'll do it in this beige. And I'm just going to do some concentric circles round and round. I'll start it. Oh, I've got one already on the go. Then I'll do some more patches and probably come back and show you where I'm up to. But as I say, I won't make you sit watching. That'd be, you'd be completely bored witless. And I don't know whether I'd run out of things to talk about. Not sure. I was talking to my friend Dan, and we were saying, you know, there's never a time when we can't think of what to say, but sometimes there is, especially if I'm here. I mean, bearing in mind I'm sitting by myself in a room talking to myself, but I like to imagine that I'm talking to all you guys. Oh, I've got another knot. That's it. Well, that's what I do. I imagine I'm speaking to you, and in my head, you know, I'm getting advice. I'm getting shown how to do something, or a better way to do something. And as always, if you are shouting at the screen going, Rachel, why don't you do it this way? Please do pop it in the comments. Picked up quite a few new followers when we've been to the show. So hello, subscribers. And if you aren't subscribed, by the way, don't forget, it is free and it does really, really help grow our little channel. So yeah, don't forget. Subscribe, like, comment. Comments are great. What did somebody call me? Modern day beggar. When you're asking people to like and subscribe. I don't understand that. I don't know whether I've already said this on one of my other videos. I don't know. I just deleted the comment. It wasn't somebody that we wanted in our community anyway. It's full of anger at the world, I imagine. I'm going to keep going round, and I don't need to keep them in line. Oh, got no. If they're out of sync, I don't mind. Oh, this just reminded me. I was looking at the moon the other night when it was clear and not raining, and it had like a big halo, but I've seen it when it's quite close. The halo's quite close, like a ring around it. But this was like the strangest. It's quite far away from it, and it looked like, like aeroplane vapor. It looked like that. So, if anybody knows what that is all about, let me know. There's obviously some phenomena of sorts, or maybe it happens all the time and I just don't look at the moon enough. I think it's probably to do with the cold. I don't know. I could Google it, I suppose, but who knows? Who knows? Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. Be interested to know. Right, see, already I'm liking this. And I wasn't liking it. I was thinking, no, don't like you. This linen, this one's quite a toughie to go through. But this one's beautiful. That's the thing with linen, you just never know what you're getting. And if you do buy linen from me, rest assured, it can be anything from really fine to really thick because it's antique. It's been used. Yeah, it is beautiful. But sometimes if you hit a slubby bit, you can bend your needle. Anyway, we're going to go round and round. Obviously, when I come to this edge, I'll stitch on what I can stitch on. I'm not going to go anymore. I'm not going to film any more of me going round and round and round because that would be just ridiculous. Problem is, I get chatting. Right, we're on the third row. So I will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Righty, so we're back. And I thought I'll just show you where I've got to. So I went round and round and round and just sort of carried it on. It's quite cute. But then on the other side, because I've got concentric circles, I just stuck a big wooden button on. So that's my next bit. So my next little one is, I thought I'd do this one. And I just thought I would patch it on using, I've got some Is it Dazzle? Razzle, Dazzle, Dazzle. Wonderful Dazzle. Soon to be in our shop, by the way. I think is Dazzle coming? I can't remember. Oh dear, I can't remember. I'll have to have an ask of Heather. So I thought I'll just go down here and here and do a herringbone stitch. I'm just going to come under there. Do you know what? My brain's going, how do you do a herringbone? Let me think. I want to come up and across, up, yeah. Up and I'm just hiding my knot behind this. Gosh, my brain wouldn't function then. So come back up. Back across. Oh. Again, you can make these as neat and uniform as you like. Just tuck you under there. Over the top. Just going to go down both sides. Super simple. And that'll be on. That will be attached. Oh, get myself stuck. In. And I'll go there. I feel like I want to go. So I'm just wondering how. Yeah, I'll just come across there. So I was just thinking, how am I finishing this off? Just give it a knot. Yeah, and I'll do the other side. Do the other side, same. You out the way. Knot in. Him up there. Put across, didn't I? You across there. Hide my knot. Cross. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. I'm just going to go all the way down there. And then I'll have a think about what I'm going to do with the next one while I'm just doing this. I think I'm just going to stitch that patch on with a running stitch or something along those lines. Make sure that's flat. Put a bit of a knot in there. Ooh, metallic thread. It's got a mind of its own. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't want to get a knot in it. There we are. That'll do. Oops, just took you under, out of the way. And that doesn't want, you see, it's got a mind of its own. Right. Okay, what we're going to do next, yeah, I'm just going to stitch this one down. And I'm just going to go around with a running stitch in. And I'll just do it in this creamy colour. I won't make you watch me. I'll just do it and I'll be back when I've moved on to the next. I think what I'll do is I'll stitch that down. I'll stitch these down because I'm only doing running stitch, and I'll stitch that down and I'll come back when I've done those. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So let's have a look how far I've got. This is going to take some time, so I was thinking I'd try and cram it all into one video, but then we're rushing it and I'm not showing you the other little bits and bobs that I'm going to add on. So I thought, let's come back in and just do, let's just take our time and have another week at this. So I've gone the concentric circles. I've put a little bit of seed beading in there. Let's zoom you in a bit. What was it? Seed beading. That's because I've been to Spellbound Beads shop in Lichfield today, and I've got beads on the brain. I've got a little bit of seed stitch in there, so scattered seed stitch rather than the darning seed stitch. And I'm going to add a few bits onto that. Where else have we gone? We've done that. We've done a bit of darning. Put the button on. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I will, over the next week, I'll come back in and I'll put these other bits in and do some more, because I've not even started to stitch this down. So we'll do some more, and then we'll add a little bit more interest into it. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying it, and don't forget to like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you again next week in the next video. Bye bye.